Good afternoon. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. If you're new here, my name is Katie and welcome to From My Vanity. I'm really excited to be filming today's video because it is another collab video with a friend of mine here on YouTube. I am collaborating today with FENTY here on YouTube, and she's actually a recent discovery of mine. I found her through the project painting community. Recently, within the last, I don't know, 3-4 months, I've really become intrigued and just motivated by the project painting community. So I've been searching out new YouTubers to follow and watch, and Kaylee was one of them. We just hit it off really quickly in the comments. I really enjoy watching the projects that she pans. I just watched a video last night of her showing her progress on her project panning, and she had hit pan on 3 blushes that she was panning, which I think is impressive. So impressive because I am struggling right now to hit pan on 1 blush that I've had for like 5 years. So it's my most used blush and I'm still trying to hit pan on that thing. So anyway, she inspires me. I saw that this morning and I was just, or last night whenever I watched it, I was just like, oh my gosh, girl, that's impressive. You have pan on 3 different blushes. My hat's off to you. But anyway, if you also enjoy project panning, I definitely recommend you check her out. So we're going over ideas of what we could collaborate on, and with the Sephora VIB sale almost upon us, she was like, well, do you want to do a recommendations video? And I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to make any purchases during the Sephora VIB sale, which, I mean, I know sounds crazy because like everyone looks forward to the sale all year, but if you guys saw my last haul, you guys know I love Ulta. Ulta has my heart. Ulta's a reward system, their point system, their perks are just so, in my eyes, so far superior to Sephora's that if I can buy something at Ulta, I do. And for me right now, in what I have in my makeup collection, most of the stuff I can buy at Ulta. And they just finished, like I just used a 20% off coupon off prestige brands at Ulta last week. So I just stocked up on a bunch of makeup then. So I was like, well, what if we did an anti-haul? Because I've never tried a anti-haul on my channel. And I've never been really sure if I wanted to do anti-hauls. But with this Sephora VIB sale, I can totally do an anti-haul because I'm not getting like any of the new stuff that's out at Sephora right now. So she was like, oh yeah, let's do it. She hasn't done an anti-haul either. So we were both doing our anti-haul for the Sephora VIB sale. So that was a very long introduction. Let's just dive right in. So before I dive into today's video, I did want to mention that I've actually done a previous blog post on my recommendations for the Sephora VIB sale, which I will leave linked down below because all the products that I mentioned are still very relevant. If you want to have some good recommendations, all those products I've used, loved, I've repurchased a couple multiple times. Let's talk about the Tarte limited edition treasure box collector set. Now Tarte's holiday collections are just way too bulky for me. And too bland, honestly. Like, looking at the colors in the palette, I was like, okay, there's some pretty ones, but really the only pops of color is like a burgundy red and then like a teal blue type of shade. And it's just too bulky for me. I like practical products or packaging that just goes into my collection easily. And so the fact that this is so bulky is just easy pass. Nope. Another pass for me is the Kat Von D Satan Center eyeshadow palette. Now this one really did intrigue me, but I was sitting there looking at the shades, and I've actually looked at a couple pictures where people depotted this palette, which I don't think I could ever do, but some people have depotted and rearranged the colors so you can kind of see the variety that's in the palette. And I feel like I have most of those unique shades already in my Metal Matte palette from last year. So with that in mind, and the fact that she had a couple interesting, I think topper shades that I'm just not into toppers, and it's pretty big and bulky, and I don't know, the blue and the yellows were what kind of intrigued me, and there's a purple in there, but once again, I already have those colors in the Metal Matte palette, so it's just a pass for me. I mean, I like Kat Von D's packaging, and I always look forward to her holiday releases, but this one just, I'm passing on. Not gonna get it. Another easy pass for me is the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Galaxy eyeshadow palette. Now when I first saw this tease, I was intrigued. So I was like, okay, that looks pretty. I'll have to see how much it is and get closer, better looks at it, because it was just like the teaser trailer when I first saw it. And then the price came out $60, so I was like, okay, more expensive. And then I was really looking at it, and It's all shimmer for one, which I totally, I mean, it's okay. You know, I have enough matte eyeshadow, all matte eyeshadow palettes, but for me, I have to really like almost all the colors to want to spend that much money on an all shimmer palette, because it's not a palette I'm going to ever use on its own. I will always just use like one, maybe two shades from that palette. And I was looking at it, and besides like the blue and the green and the pink, I feel like all the other colors are just, you know, so-so. I mean, not, you know, they're not bad, but they're just not very fun, bright, vibrant colors. And I was looking at swatches, and a lot of those kind of medium shades, like the shimmer, not shimmers, the, you know, more beiges, the taupes, even a purple, there's a pink, there's a peach. They just seem very subtle and kind of almost like they'd all look the same. So there just wasn't enough variety and pops of color for me to justify the price. So that's a pass for me as well. So the next product is Tarte Limited Edition Blush Bazaar Amazonian Clay Blush Palette for $44. Now this is an easy pass for me because it is full of, I think 10 blushes, and maybe 2 of them are bronzers, but 10 blush and, not bronzers, 2 of them are highlighters, but 10 like blush and highlighter products. And you guys know, I'm not much of a highlighter, and definitely not much of a blush person. I pretty much like to stay pretty monotone. Same kind of colors, the same kind of blushes, honestly, I have that I just rotate through and go back to. So blushes don't excite me, so there is no reason for me to buy an entire palette with blushes in it. It just doesn't make sense, because it just would be $44 down the drain, because I would use like one shade out of it every now and then. Another easy pass for me is the Urban Decay Heavy Metals Metallic Eyeshadow Palette. I honestly just don't understand this palette. It has all shimmers, again, an all shimmer palette, which it's okay. It's metal metallics, whatever. Shimmery metallic eyeshadows, which is okay. That seems to be the trend that's with this holiday season, is a lot of all metallic or shimmer palettes. That's fine, not my taste, but I mean, whatever. But the thing I don't understand is, what were they thinking with this packaging? Like, if I bought that, and I'm not a dip potter, but if I bought that, I would have to dip pot it, because it's just, the packaging is so bulky. Not only did they stick a mirror straight in the middle of the palette, which just doesn't make sense. So if you wanted to use it, you'd have to like hold it up with the eyeshadows, and I don't know, that doesn't make sense. But also you have to slide it in, which isn't the most practical and not my favorite, because I'd rather, you know, a palette that opens so you can have the mirror on the on the cover, and then all your palettes there. And it's just like, I look at it, I'm like, it could have been so much more compact and small and like travel friendly and user friendly, because I like more compact palettes. But then they just like stuck this big mirror in the center and had the cover come off. So it's just, I just don't want to mess with it. So, I mean, the colors on the left side of the palette intrigue me. The colors on the right just seem pretty boring and middle of the road. Like, if I'm going to stick something super metallic on my eyes, I like color and fun. But I mean, I feel like they could have just done 1 or 2 of those neutral colors on the right. But either way, it's just no. Okay, so next up, let's talk about ColourPop. Now, ColourPop is coming to Sephora, and I believe they're going to come, I'm not really sure about the dates, but I think it'll be during the sale that they release. I wanted to say it was like the 1st of November. I'm not really sure, but they're releasing their Golden State of Mind Shadow Palette. Once again, another all shimmer palette, or all metallic, whatever, palette that's going to be released this holiday season. And I was looking at it because I was like, okay, cool, ColourPop and Sephora, that's been big news everywhere. Everyone's excited. They're curious to see the quality, the prices, you know, if they stay the same, being in Sephora. And I'm intrigued, honestly, because it's nice that I can go in store, if my store carries it, and be able to play with some of these ColourPop products and not just have to buy it blindly online. But I was looking at this palette and saying, okay, like, do I want it? And it just bored me. Like, and I'm someone who, I like my neutrals, like, I feel like, but I was just looking, and if you look at the swatches that ColourPop released for this palette, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I feel like almost the top 8 pretty much all look the same. I mean, there's color variances, but when you're on your eyes, I feel like, I don't know. I was just looking at this and going like, wow, there's just, they all look the same. I mean, it's just very boring, very neutral, and it's just, it doesn't inspire me. So since it doesn't inspire me, and I was just like, okay, like there's a kind of a greeny, like the darkest shade, the last one that they swatch is kind of a greenish bronzy. I don't know. That one intrigued me, but that's it. Like everything else in the palette, I'm just like, they kind of all look the same to me. So even though ColourPop's affordable, and even though this is a little more expensive than their regular palettes, but they're still affordable, it just didn't inspire me, so pass. So talking about ColourPop coming to Sephora, Violet Voss is now at Sephora, so I was very intrigued when I heard that because I haven't tried anything from Violet Voss, but I've heard a lot about them. And they're more expensive than ColourPop, so the fact that they're coming to Sephora is very intriguing to me because I can, one, maybe purchase it in stores, but two, I can also, you know, use my, be able to use it towards my, you know, rewards program to, you know, get itsy bitsy little samples from Sephora or work on my VIB, which I'm not going to get VIB this year. But anyway, all that aside, I was very intrigued. And so I was like, okay, well, what new palette are they coming out with that I might want to buy at Sephora with a discount? And their newest release that I know of is their Taupe Notch, I think is what it's called, palette. That's full of taupey shades, but I like neutral palettes. I have a lot of neutral palettes. I love neutral eyeshadow looks. I do. I don't think I'm anyone who just like must have color. Like I definitely like playing with color, but I enjoy a good neutral eye palette. But this is just boring. Like they're all taupes. Like I don't know. I feel like any look you did besides like with that more goldish shade VIP at the bottom with the shimmer, like any look is gonna basically look the same, and that just seems like a lot of money, a big bulky palette for pretty much looks that are all gonna be fairly similar. So I don't understand this palette. I mean, I get it because they wanted to have a palette that's all full of taupe shades, but it's not for me. Pass. Next, let's touch on the Tarte Tartelette Toasted Eyeshadow Palette. Now, this palette, I will admit that I want to get, but it's not for the right reasons. The only reason I want this palette is because I love the packaging on the outside. That's it. Like, I love the fire look of the outside of the packaging. Like, I wish I could take that lid and put it on my Tartelette in Bloom, even though that makes no sense, but I wish I could stick it there and then I'd be a happy camper because the colors in this palette themselves don't interest me whatsoever. Like, I'm just not excited when I see it. Like maybe one day I'll eventually get around to adding it to my collection, but it's not a palette at this point that I feel like I need or want, so I'm just passing on it. But I will totally admit that I want it just because I like the black and red outside packaging because that looks pretty cool. Okay, I feel like I have been talking forever, but yeah, that wraps up my anti-haul for the Sephora VIB sale. I just couldn't believe when I was thinking about this sale and thinking about all the new makeup, because typically during a sale, that's like what I like to get is the new makeup and then one or, you know, a couple products that are like staples I have to have in my collection. But I don't have anything I'm running low on that I need to restock, and there aren't really any new releases that I'm excited about. So that's why I figured it was a perfect time to do an anti-haul, because yeah, I was just scrolling through the what's new page at Sephora and I was just like, nope, 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 nope. So yes, I hope you enjoyed that, and definitely go and check out Kelly Fab's video. I will, of course, as I already said, leave a link down below so that you can find it and see what her picks are and what she is anti-hauling for the Sephora VIB sale. Please let me know what you think about these anti-hauls. I've never done one on my channel, as is obvious. I've already stated that, but I'm not sure if I will continue to do it. So definitely let me know down in the comments below if you would like to see more of these in the future, or just some type of kind of haul or like wish list, won't touch, you know, or kind of like for the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty, I did the grab or pass. Those types of videos I feel like are more my style than the anti-hauls, but as I said, this Sephora VIB sale, I just anti-hauled everything, so I figured might as well do a video and share with you guys. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down below, and definitely let me know down below what you think about all these new releases that are coming out. Are you excited about anything? Am I just being picky over here? I don't know. Let me know down below. But with all that said, I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye, guys.